whiskey
in the jarro.
to start. Welcome to what is this? Welcome to the Patreon's live quiz.
It's the 12 steps of Tenkara. It is. It's the second quiz we've ever done.
The March 2019 quiz, featuring our special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, special guest? Don't
give the game away.
Don't give the game away with your nickname.
Oh my god! I'm so afraid to spoil everything here. So, my name is Vito. Tsurikichi.
Oh, yeah, it's not actually an answer to a question. It's a question.
That's it.
Itself,
I can say it, Tsurikichi.
You can say
the question. Yeah.
I can say it. Most of you know about me. I'm an Italian crazy Tenkara angler. I've been angler since I'm 6 years old. I'm into fly fishing and I love it all. Tenkara has been my biggest passion, let's say. It's not only for the Tenkara method, but also for the environment and for all that Tenkara can bring to us. Let's have 1 hour time. I just started. Right.
It's all good.
No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
So, we better get a prize. Shall I get the prize? We'll cut and I'll come back in with the prize.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
You know, all that sort
We're
of
live now.
I
We're
know,
back with the prize.
And you're back in the room.
I do have a small compression to make.
A compression?
I've not even had a drink. I have a small confession to make, and that I was supposed to get a prize ready for this, and I completely forgot. So
because he spent 2 days blanking, and we'll talk about
there's
it.
one of us that
you have to know.
There's one of us that
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, maybe flash up a picture of that enormous pike that you
it
caught.
was 2 freezing cold days of being soaking wet. There's gear drying all over my kitchen. Anyway, in that sort of busy period, I forgot to get a prize ready, but I've literally just gone over to my cupboard where I keep all my Tenkara bits and bobs, and I found this fly box that I've actually taken to Japan and Italy with me and out guiding with clients.
I'm blank there as well.
Screw you.
Let me see.
No, you know I'm kidding. You know I love you.
No. Those caught a lot of fish in Italy. Yes.
I don't think I've the
Is
kind
there
of
still
guy
some kind of commemorative nylon in the
well, I'm
eyes,
just
or...
looking. I'm really not the kind of guy who leaves
Actually,
nylon
those
in
are
the
the
eyes.
ones that fished in Italy. Those are the ones.
Yeah.
But there are a few that have had a swim. There's 4 juicy kebari in there that I can see. There's 4 ishigakis. There's a couple of the ones that we've seen go tie on an old DVD with the brown bodies and red heads. There's some beautiful striped yellow and peacock ones.
So palming the merchandise.
There's some of Ajiri's pattern in there. There's some bigger juices there. Yeah, there's a lot of really nice stiff-hackled kebari. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 flies.
For a commercial prize or...
Yeah, well.
And these can be yours for the princely sum of getting 20 questions right. Or the highest
What
score.
an effort.
Yeah.
What an
And
effort.
with that, why not let's move on. And
Well, just quickly with the rules, what we're going to do, we're going to put this out. We're going to. We had a few problems with the live version of this, so this is going to go out and stay on whether it's social media or our site or YouTube for a set period of time. Wherever you're watching this, we'll put a closing date underneath it and an email address to send your answer sheets into, and then obviously the highest score wins. For folks who are patrons, you'll get a kind of a completed correct answer sheet as well to just sort of show appreciation. Hopefully the idea is that it helps you get into some of the stuff that you might have missed, whether it's our stuff or stuff that's just in the general Tenkara and fly fishing community. It'll introduce you to some nice facts and techniques and just stuff around the culture of what we do. But in addition, because if you're a patron, you get the answer sheet, you also learn a little bit because you get the guidance at the end of the day as well. That's the shtick anyway. Yeah. That's the general idea behind it.
I'm honest, I learned a lot. Because my score would have been 10 out of 12. How many questions?
20. So yeah, but the math round is all you.
I was just going to say, he was
10
off,
out of 12?
he was off that day to do maths at school as
so
well.
let's say 18 out of 20 maybe?
Yeah.
Well, I missed mine, actually.
Well,
yeah,
you
those
sent
are
some of the
right.
questions, but...
What, the two
Let's
you
not
got
go
wrong? What was I going to say? Yeah, but the idea is that that it is you're not meant to just get them all right off the top of your head. It is supposed to be an excuse to just delve into some of the great information that's out
I think
there.
it's fair to say that virtually all the questions the answer is hidden somewhere in our media or on our website.
Most of them, I would say.
Yeah. And I wouldn't expect anyone. If you got it all right, well done. Just off the top of your head, because I think we'd struggle. We've set some real doozies.
Yeah, I mean, to get the absolute nailed on figures.
Yeah.
Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to get Vito to ask the first question since you're our special guest.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. First question is, what is different about Kazayuki Yamada's horse lines?
And in English, Kazuyuki Yamada's horse.
That's it. That's it.
So yeah, Yamada-san, Kazuyuki Yamada is the younger of the two members of the Yamada family that we've written about.
Yes.
And yes, there is something very particular about his horsehair Tenkara lines.
Given that this is not 100% live, we can move quite quickly through these questions because people are free to pause as they furiously scribble answers or research. So let's get straight into question 2, shall we?
Yeah.
Do you want to go with this one, Paul?
I will take that one, and it is. Are you ready? Brace yourselves. Who or what is a gogi? A gogi. At least with reference to Tenkara. I mean, there might be some other stuff out there. You may want to have moderate safe search switched on the because I have no idea where it's going to...
I have no idea. If you Google gogi...
Google gogi.
What does Google go get?
Can you some background suggestion to the people? Mm-hmm. Like do gesture.
I think
that would be the...
I want to see, the interpretive dance skills of Vito Rubino. You know.
Moving on. I'll do this one. Where? It's not the only place. I mean, you could answer a fly box, and technically you might be right. But where does Sebata-san keep his flies? Or kebari?
Hello.
Indeed.
Do
you want to take this next one? Question 4.
Right. Whose nickname literally means Tenkara demon? That is not that difficult, though. We have to say.
Well,
that is not that.
It's easy when you know it.
It depends how long you've been around in Tenkara, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And what your entry route into the sport.
I think that's a wonderful nickname in general. Without spoiling it, I'm not going to spoil it.
It's just a badass nickname, you know.
But it's great because people generally take the word demon as something powerful and angry. Yeah. But you know that in ancient Greek, for example, there was a wonderful word that it was translated in Latin and Italian, like eudaimonia, which is one of the most wonderful word and meaning, because eu means the good one, demon means the demon. So the eudaimonia means, you know, that good demon that makes you do the things, makes you do the crazy thing.
You got the one on the shoulder,
no, it's the right one. Makes you wake up at a crazy time. On a cold March day to go on a cold reservoir to fish for some carp that
so
we never
it's
show
really,
up.
really smart.
Kind of like the voices in my head.
That's it. And at 4:30 we were all like, let's go fish.
Yeah.
Keeping it on topic.
Just before you go, obviously demon, just obviously depends what part of the world you're from. So Tenkara demon if you're sort of speaking the Queen's English.
That was question 4. So moving to question 5, I might as well take this one. Yuzo Sebata is famous for his sometimes dangerous genru adventures, but he was often followed by an equally adventurous cameraman who documented the trips. What was the cameraman's name? That's a tough one.
Did you say? Did you say equally adventurous or equally famous? There, I'm not sure.
Equally adventurous.
That's definitely the correct terminology.
This guy.
Because this is quite an obscure question.
Yeah, Sebata-san's a hell of a sort of river crossing, mountain climbing, waterfall climbing badass.
That's really.
I thought there was a massive swear word coming in.
Yeah. Like Samuel L. Jackson's wallet.
Yeah, exactly.
But this guy. Back in the sort of 90s when he was filming this guy, camcorders were massive and the batteries were really heavy. So this guy did everything Sebata-san did with a bloody great big
Carrying
camera as
100
well.
pounds of camera gear.
So yeah, he's worth a mention. But
Do you know what I thought you were channeling there? You know, Dusk Till Dawn, when there's the guy saying, "Are you
yeah,
or that?" That's what I
Okay.
thought was coming at the end.
No.
That river crossing.
so should we let
Mofo.
Vito? Should we let Vito ask question 6?
Only if he does it in the third person, like
Yes.
Fabio off
Yeah.
of the 90s.
That's so difficult. Vito's nickname is Tsurikichi. Where does this name come from? We can give a clue.
Yeah.
It was at first in the 70s, let's say, manga that became an anime.
I think you better
How
stop
much
talking.
I would like to tell you more.
I think you better stop talking.
There's stuff that's out there, though, isn't it? The the answer.
It is
Oh,
most
no.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to jump in, and this is who wrote this question. I've got my suspicions. So, how many sections on a Karasu 400 rod?
A completely intact one.
I can give up.
Yeah, it's like you can
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah.
Guys, this is difficult though. I feel to give a clue to the guys.
What,
It's
other
more
than the
than
answer?
one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's more than one.
As long as you don't use WD-40 to loosen the joints, then it is one.
Yeah, you could
permanently.
soon make a mess there. I suppose it must be back round to my turn.
It is,
already.
yes.
Aha.
Yeah.
How come I get all the long ones? Right, question 8. Can you name the Italian fly fishing style that is similar to Tenkara and uses fixed line rods, traditionally with horsehair lines, and a clue to part of the name? The Italian for fly fishing is pesca, mosca.
Right.
looking
Now I'm
for-
going to give you to pay you back.
See?
To pay you back
Sì.
is pesca a mosca
Pesca a mosca.
or pesca con la mosca.
Pesca con la mosca.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's a nice sound.
It's like music.
That's it.
Grazie.
Brilliant.
And just because we happen to have one, that is one of those. Let's not mention no names. One of those lines.
Yeah, but it'd be very easy to slip there.
Yeah. And I actually found out how to attach it to the rod. So we're going to delve into that a little bit.
Yeah, we
this
do
season.
have a rod of that type.
We do. We got a gong to like.
Can we? Yeah. Can we? Well, hey, I can edit this and put beeps on it. So.
Let's move on before we need to get any lip
we
reading.
might have some lip readers.
Dangers. It's actually segueing almost beautifully
Into the method of attachment,
Yeah,
yeah.
attaching the line to the rod. At least in this case, a Tenkara rod. And why is lilian called lilian?
It's certainly not because it's smooth to pronounce. It's certainly,
Yeah.
it's certainly not because it's smooth to pronounce for a Japanese person.
Indeed.
There's
Yeah.
too many L's.
Well, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, to not even have a sound in the alphabet.
Yeah,
and
they don't have a letter in their alphabet to. It's
corresponds to that.
Rian, isn't it?
Rian,
Rian, yeah.
Ooh,
Oh.
pictures. I like it.
Okay, picture round.
Yeah, let me just scroll up so we can see what we're doing a little bit whilst we're doing that.
I want to look at a picture.
There we go. The man himself, which you at
terrible.
home will be able to
Where's
see.
the mute on that, please? I'll edit round that.
Yeah. It's your question, isn't it?
Is it
Vito?
mine?
I think so.
Well, that's a honor because
Don Vito.
Don Vito. I
Don
wish I
Vito.
was. Wish I was. That's a honor because we all learned a lot from this, man. And thanks a lot. I know that he's not watching probably, but thank you.
Who knows?
From a survey conducted by Yoshikazu Fujioka. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
What percentage of the Japanese kebari sampled were of the classic Sakasa kebari style? It has long, soft reverse hackles. Say it in English now.
So, yeah, subtitles. So yeah, basically, survey was conducted by Yoshikazu Fujioka, and he found that a certain percentage of all of the fly patterns that he came across in his studies in Japan were of the reverse style, the Sakasa kebari style. What was that percentage of all of the patterns that he had uncovered during those studies?
So that will open a lot of people's mind. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And staying with Fujioka-san, in the same survey, what was the most common type of hackle?
And this could be a trick question because it could be the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are only a few types, and he gave percentages for all of them.
Yeah.
So, what was the most common hackle type?
This is for Japanese kebari now.
Yeah.
Japanese flies. I guess it's me again. Is
Oh
it?
my goodness, I've gone through all of
You've
them.
gone crazy. You've gone buck wild with the scroll button there, mate.
Yeah. No one can see. No one
Stand
can see.
back.
It's all under control. So, on there we go.
So yes, everyone can see.
It must
now.
be your turn, Paul.
It is, yeah. So faced with the choice between Jun, Sakasa, and Futsu. Oh, Futsu.
Futsu.
Futsu. It's at least a Futsu long. Futsu. Which would be the best choice for an anchored presentation, generally speaking?
Yeah. And we're not going to tell you which is which on screen. So if you're not,
No, the info is out there.
If you're not that far along that you don't recognise the hackle types on screen, perhaps the quickest way to find out is to go to the fly page where you can buy flies on our website. No, they're basically
Just saying. Yeah.
Smooth as.
They are. Well, that's great pictures, which are
And
on
if you
screen.
buy them, it's even better because you can see them and try them.
No, but the thing is
No, straight
they're
up, yeah.
categorised by Jun, Futsu, and Sakasa.
Yeah.
So there's a section for each, so you can actually see a picture next to the name.
Yep.
So if you do want to learn about the hackles, if you don't already know, that's the first place I'd go to sort of direct someone to.
Yeah, and
It's perfectly obvious which one's which then.
no, it's a legit point to be fair. Yeah.
Thanks. Who's next?
Oh, that's my our good friend here.
Yeah. With the picture to match.
Must be you.
Go for it, Vito.
Question 13.
Question 20. I have to make it up because he had one job and he didn't even do it. So, ubis and fly. Shall I leave it like that or shall I explain it a bit?
Yeah, well, they'll have the picture. They can see the picture
Right,
as well, so
right.
that's fine.
How
yeah,
is called this fly?
Yeah.
the
What is,
ubi-
in the Japanese version of
Right,
that,
yeah,
what is
yeah.
the name?
What's
of-
the name of the pattern? Let's
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Some clue for the people where they can research.
I'm trying to think where it was mentioned. There
Because
might
for
be
sure
some-
it's in your book, I remember.
Yeah,
That
definitely
for
is,
sure.
yeah.
We've got an interview with Ubi where he shows all his tackle. His fishing tackle. His fishing tackle.
Hi, Ubi.
I told him to do the.
Yeah. And I think he goes through his fly box there. He mentions the types of flies. So,
He does, and he talks about his friend as well and the two versions.
It's also
of the-
worth to mention that this fly gets a lot also from a fly that is very traditional in Italy. With some difference, or else Ubi will get angry, so it's your fly for sure. Just kidding. But this is a very traditional fly for us, especially in a period of the year. It's a very traditional pattern.
Yeah. And I think, and again, without giving too much away, I think the name sort of reflects the different countries, the geography of the origin of of that imitation. So cool. Is that me again?
It's your turn, yes.
Well,
the last picture question.
One of my favourite subjects. I'm determined actually this year to get into a bit more of this in our country. We'll hopefully do some content on that as well. But in terms of the Japanese tradition, what is the Japanese name given to foraged mountain edible plants? And it's a big part of the, if you forgive the pun, the flavour of Japanese Tenkara. It really is evocative of that experience of fishing in Japan. It's the wild foraging sort of aspect of it. Sustainable as well, not kind of denuding places of stuff.
It has to be one of my favourite parts of the cuisine, I think.
Yeah.
And it's not something you can get sort of, quite often at sea level restaurants in towns and cities. It's
hard to get. You do see it occasionally, sort of shrink wraps in like supermarkets, but it ain't the same as that stuff that's just come off the.
It's a real sort of treasure when you're up in the mountains.
Fantastic,
There's a couple of pictures. That's not actually the picture, but it leads nicely to that picture. So yes, this is the last picture question. The guy on screen, his name is Kazumi Saigo, but he has a famous nickname he's more often known by. How did he get the nickname?
There's almost. I think if we need a sort of a tie-break thing, there's probably 2 points on offer there.
Yeah.
what his nickname is, and then how did he get it.
Yeah.
And
I think we can allow 2 points for
there
that.
is also a connection on the Tsurikichi question, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because he was always carrying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. It's almost like we thought about it.
Yeah.
Professionals, ladies and gentlemen.
So, moving out from... I nearly said his nickname. Moving out from that last question.
Bleep.
Whose turn is it now? It must be...
I've lost the plot now. Probably me.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm not going to give the multiple choice. I'm going to be mean. I'm just going to go straight in with the question. And what would you... Obviously, there's plenty of choices, but what typically would you keep in a kawabachi? Kawabachi. So yeah, that's probably enough.
So
time
you're
to
not
get
going to give the options? So
No.
No.
Like
You either know or you don't, or you can find it. Or you can't.
I'm going to take this question. This is this is one that...
car insurance, or
Yeah.
for example, I don't know.
Question 17. Which Tenkara angler was filmed for TV when he travelled to the USA attempting to spread Tenkara in the 1990s? I think a lot of people don't even know that happened. A lot of people think Tenkara first came to America in 2009, but there was a guy from Japan made a sort of
A foray.
early foray, in the 90s.
To be fair, he clearly wasn't coming over to set up and kind of bring it as as a kind of an entire outdoor recreation sort of thing. But yeah, it was just basically an early envoy to see if the method would work.
This is so interesting because sometimes things happen, then a similar thing happen, and with a different effect.
Yeah, I think you've got to get to that sort of tipping point, haven't you? And
it takes a bit of time before it sticks sometimes.
Yeah. And a good deal of investment as well, let's not forget.
Would you like to take question 18?
Oh, I love
while
that.
Paul gets the prop ready.
Stand back, folks.
It'd probably make a better prop, actually.
I don't want to be a partner in crime with that.
What are you saying, John?
What is the name of Paul's road?
Look at the craftsmanship.
Right. This road has a name.
Yeah, especially.
And I'm sure it has a soul as well. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
It's the kind of, how the kind of the ugliest, most snaggletooth sort of steady. That ugly sort of runt of the litter kind of. You got a sneaking affection for those real ugly dogs with the kind of the teeth everywhere. And this is the kind of love-hate relationship I have with this rod. And to give it its due, I have actually caught some really pretty big wild brown trout on it in this country.
I'll make sure there's a bit of a video clip on screen.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, with the stuff we've managed to capture on film, I've certainly caught fish probably double that sort of size, which is frankly terrifying.
And then to be fair, the rod itself is nice. It's that wrap on the handle.
Steady on, just be careful about what you say.
As a bonus clue, it does kind of look like it's wrapped in barbed wire.
Well, that's a clue. That's a clue.
Yeah, and it is not straight.
So, that was Vito. Number 19. Do you want to take that one, Paul?
Yeah, why not? I'll take it because it's Italian.
Go for it.
Please.
So, here we go. Obviously, again, there's kind of a blanket term and there's lots of different styles out there, but within the confines of, let's say, the IFM Italian style of casting with the rod and reel, what is the main similarity between the what's the word? The main aim of the Italian style of casting with a fly rod and reel, what similarity does that have to the very first thing that we teach people about Tenkara casting as well?
We can give a clue, like
the
presentation.
I was just going to say, the presentation. What's common to both presentations?
There is something, and that they're both aiming to do, but with different, they're coming at it from different angles, but the result they're looking for is the same, and it's a very specific trigger, I would say.
If I can add something, because I think it's interesting, it's because this. Don't look at me like that. You make me feel. No, but it's interesting because this similarity. I'm trying my best not to spoil it. This similarity is because Italian fly fishing style was born and raised and developed and perfected on the same typical Tenkara water.
Yeah.
So when you fish with a fly line, you might have to do some adjustment to avoid the drag, fishing the eddy on the other side of a strong current. So you need to adjust a lot.
Yeah.
And this is actually pretty much what get me into Tenkara at first. Because when I discovered Tenkara, I saw that it was, well, similarities with the fly fishing and the presentation, but it was just straightforward. Not saying that it's easy, but it was just the perfect environment because we share this kind, any kind of method.
I would definitely go with that. I mean, I use the phrase a lot, but that convergent evolution, the similar terrain that naturally just leans, over time it leans towards those.
But that's how the method starts.
Solutions.
By the needs.
Yeah.
What else?
100%. Nice.
Here comes the last question. In with
Can I
a
tell you
chance.
more about no?
God bless you. In with a chance of winning the fly box. Here it comes. It's a video question. So the video you see.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Look, we can imagine the videos on screen. For God's sake.
Keep going because
in my mind it was already playing in the edit.
It might still be.
So, okay, here we go. What are you looking at now? What is the manipulation technique in the video, and where did the name come from? And
Being so ably demonstrated by
If we're all quiet for the fish capture, here it comes.
5.
Oh, it's a monster.
Stand back.
And cut.
Yeah.
We're back in the room. So, answers on a postcard too. No, email to.
Turns out we've got alternative methods now.
Yeah. Email to the web address that you can see on the bottom of the screen right now. What date? We'll put the date on the screen as well.
Yeah, because we need to get it out and
get it uploaded. Yeah, so you'll be looking at the date of sort of closing now. If you're watching this past the closing date, there's a chance that we may have shared it after the patrons have all entered the quiz. So you're probably playing just for fun now. And if you've made it this far, we do apologise that there's no.
If you made it this far, you can still enter the competition by sending £10 to just read this IBAN here.
Yeah.
That bank account. Thank you.
Disregard everything this man does.
Pretty much, yeah. But what I was going to say, of course. Big thanks to our patrons that really supporting. We've got such a pipeline of projects, but those just wouldn't be there. It's probably fair to say we wouldn't have made it through 2018 without the support of you guys. So big thumbs up, huge thank you.
We've got some great stuff coming. For
and I will say as well, if you do want to join that family tribe of patrons on the Patreon platform, we'll stick a link down to that, and you can actually check out the backstory about how we actually came to be doing this in the first place. And the events that led us to going down that route.
For now, thanks for our guest Vito.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. A lot of news coming, so come on, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Join us next time, and that will be as soon as we can possibly make it. It's getting a little bit easier now. We're sort of back in the swing of things, aren't
Absolutely, 100%.
So thanks for watching, and it's goodbye from Paul, Vito, and myself.